Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm going to attempt to do just that and tackle today's Times Cryptic crossword. Very difficult this one is, apparently. The snitch rating is very high. Let's have a quick look at the stats. So the first few are typists, people who've solved it on... Oh, well, Moan, John McCabe, that's real, 5 minutes. So having said it's very difficult... Well, there are some reasonable times, actually. Some reasonable real times. Let me see. Oh, well, Matthew Marcus, over 10 minutes. That does tell you that this is a very hard puzzle. Definitely. Let's have a quick scroll down, see if I can see any other names that are... Yeah, I mean, if Tom Stubbs is taking 26 minutes to solve a puzzle, then there is definitely something hard about this one. So it should be a challenge. It should definitely be a battle today. Let me check I've got my dictionary open. A couple of things. Well, the idea of these videos, by the way, if you're new to them... Oh, now my internet... Oh, no, there we go. Is that I will talk through my thought processes such as they are, and hopefully if you're new to cryptic crosswords, that will serve as some sort of guide as to how these strange clues, weird and wonderful clues, work, and that will help you with your own solving. So I've got my dictionary in the wrong place on the screen, of course. Let's move it over there. I won't use the dictionary except to look things up after I've committed to them. Oh yes, two other things I wanted to mention. We have had a lot of recommendations to try a puzzle. I think it was a prize puzzle in The Guardian. I've got it here. By Twin, Colin Thomas, a phenomenally quick solver and a setter of, of great repute and growing repute. And this is called Genius number 257, which I think must be the name of the crossword in The Guardian, but apparently it is a work of genius. So either Mark or me or I will try and have a go at that. Probably be a Patreon video in the coming days. So if you do want to watch extra cryptic crossword content, that might be one way to do that. Just before we start, I'd also like to just take a moment to remember Libby. We had a lovely email from David, one of our viewers, whose mother unfortunately has passed now, but her first love in terms of puzzles was cryptic crosswords, and today would have been her birthday, and David was kind enough to say that he thinks if his mother had ever watched Cracking the Cryptic, she would have enjoyed it. So David, thank you for writing. I will raise a glass to the memory of Libby this evening. And with that, let's get cracking. So it's this one, isn't it? It's the proper Times Cryptic. Might have a go at the quick cryptic later, depending on how long the video is. And let's go. Let's get cracking. One across. A friend from Eastern Europe reported fall of king. It's a very nicely worded clue. I'll say that immediately. Friend from Eastern Europe reported fall of king. I haven't got this at all. A couple of things. If you're completely new to cryptic crosswords, I will just say every single one of these clues has a quick crossword definition in it. So you can, if you're good enough at reading the clues, convert a cryptic crossword into a quick crossword or an American style crossword, for those of you watching across the Atlantic. Normally, that straightforward definition is at the start or the end of the clue. So here in one across, it might be the word friend, 9-letter word for a friend, or, well, fall of king is the other side, or king. That's difficult, isn't it? So I'm more minded to think this is a 9-letter word for a friend. There's a lot going on there, though. The word reported, when I see that in a cryptic crossword, that suggests something you hear. If you hear something reported, or if something is reported to you, you hear it, don't you? And in cryptic crossword land, that often means a homophone, so a word that sounds like another word but is spelt differently. And the word that's coming to my mind here, if you get if something falls in the sense of weather, it would be rain, wouldn't it? R-A-I-N. And if you hear the word rain, it would sound exactly the same as the word R-E-I-G-N, to reign as a monarch. And that is something to do with kings. So I don't know. I haven't got this at all, but I'm just wondering if rain is somehow involved. Let's try one down. Drinking this, the reverse of cappuccino. Drinking this, the reverse of cappuccino. What? Oh, I have got this. Okay. So there is, if you're lucky, there will be one and exactly one of these in any Times crossword that you attempt. Setters are not allowed to have two so-called hidden clues in the crossword, but there might be one, and this is the way I first got into solving the Times cryptic crossword. Or I think back then it was the Telegraph I used to do, but you would hunt in the puzzle for the one that had the hidden answer. And what do I mean by hidden? Well, I mean actually the answer to this clue is spelt out within the words of the clue. So drinking this, I mean, it's a very cleverly worded clue. I will tell you that. When the answer is hidden in the clue, the constructor has to tell you it's hidden. And the way that this constructor has done that is really subtle and rather brilliant. Drinking this is saying that the following phrase, which is the phrase, the reverse of cappuccino, if you like, it's difficult. It's actually quite difficult to explain. This is referring to the answer. I'm going to just tell you what the answer is. It's easier if I explain it that way. You can see spelt out in the reverse of the word cappuccino, cuppa, C-U-P-P-A, which is clearly something that you drink. So what the constructor is saying is that you can find a drink in the reverse of the word cappuccino. So it's difficult. It is a bit difficult, that clue, but it's very, very cleverly worded. And yeah, it's anyway, there it is. We found our one hidden for the crossword. There will not be any more. Let's go back to this then. Oh, friend. A word for a friend is a china. It's sort of an old slang word. Me old China, you might have said. Friend from Eastern Europe. Fall of king. I don't know. Goodness, I still don't know what that is. Right. Oh, is this parsnip? Root. Root beginning with P, 7 letters. Cut following... Oh, well, it is. It is Okay, so here is a much more straightforward clue. Now, sometimes I talk about reading these clues as equations, and that's quite a reasonable way to think about a cryptic clue. So here, what you've got is y, if you like, equals x after the usual number of strokes. So in golf, the usual number of strokes is a par. Snip is a synonym for cut, and that follows the par to give parsnip, which is a root. So there are sort of elements of the clue that are shuffled around or moved into various positions to equal the answer. Let's have a look at 11 across. No place for carriage in mighty caper. I'm pretty... Yes, okay, that's more difficult. We're very lucky we've got the A here. And again, let's remember what we're trying to do is the first thing we must do in all these clues is to try and work out, is the start or the end of the clue the definition? Now, if it's the start, we need a 5-letter word beginning with A, which means no or no place for. And that just does not feel like a definition to me. So we must be looking at the other side of the clue. Mighty or caper or mighty caper. Well, mighty caper is just a nonsense, isn't it? There aren't such things as mighty capers. Unless this... What are those things that you sometimes put on pizzas? They're not mighty. Anyway, so a 5-letter word for a caper, beginning with A, I can think of a word. And it's the word antic. A caper is an antic, isn't it? And then the hard thing is, okay, why? Why is antic the answer? So have a look at the rest of it. No place for carriage in mighty. And that's wordplay that gives us antic. Now the way to get this is to know that there is a short synonym for a carriage. A carriage used to be called a gig. Well, it probably still is called a gig, but you probably don't get too many gigs running down your street anymore. So here we go. Gig, a light 2-wheeled carriage. So if there's no place for the word gig in a word for mighty, what about gigantic? Take the gig out of the word gigantic, you're just left with antic, and that's the answer. So that's rather nice, isn't it? Let's try 2 down now. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Sinner for sinker. I'm not sure. Singer, let me think. I don't know what this is at all. My only thought about this is this phrase at the end, let me think. And can you think of any really short synonyms for a phrase like let me think? And what about or literally er or um? If you said that would be exactly the same as saying let me think, wouldn't it? So I'm wondering if this answer ends either in er or in Now if that conjecture is correct, then the other side of the clue needs to be the definition. Sinner for sinker. I don't know what that means. Oh, there's another, I'm not sure, is in the middle as well. Oh, goodness. Hang on, what on earth is it? I don't know what this is going on. I mean, we've got sinner, sinker, and singer all referred to. All of which are the same 5 letters with a different 4th letter in the middle. Sinner for sinker. I don't know. Let's try 3 down. Dangerous animal, caught, nothing, retarding cycles. Dangerous animal. We probably just are looking for a word for a dangerous animal. So what's the second word here? King cobra. King cobra. I don't know why that's the answer, but I bet it is. It's certainly a dangerous animal. It's something I don't want to come across in my daily activities. Caught nothing. Retarding is breaking, isn't? Yeah, that will work. Gosh, that's very tricky. Okay, it is king cobra. I will forgive myself for not immediately getting it. But how does it work? Well, you'll find if you've not done many cryptic crosswords that abbreviations are incredibly important. And many abbreviations you just have to sort of learn over time. But those of you familiar with cricket will be familiar with C being an abbreviation for court, especially if you've done cricket scoring. And any abbreviation has to be supported by the dictionary. So let's go to the dictionary. Let's look under C. And we should hopefully... no, it will be there. It's just where. Let's try and find it. Is it here? Court. There it is. So C is a valid abbreviation for court, and that is this C in this answer. Nothing. O signifies nothing. Now technically that's really an odd one, because although O looks like 0, that doesn't mean they're the same thing. But if you actually look up in the dictionary the letter O, it has meaning, believe it or not. So here we go. O is a noun. It's not only the 15th letter of the modern alphabet, but it's also, in a series of numbers, 0 or nothing. It's also anything round or nearly so. So it actually has a definition of nothing, Yeah. So that's C, that's O. And then we've got the word breaking, BRAKING, which means retarding. Obviously, if you retard something, it breaks. But breaks, BRAKE, not breaks, BREAK. That would be different. And this whole phrase is cycling, i.e., its last letter goes to the start, then what's become the last letter goes to the start. So that whole phrase, CO breaking, cycles round to give us the phrase King Cobra. Now, what is this? Clockwise? No, friend. From Eastern Europe might be check. Fall of King, checkmate. Oh, it's just checkmate. That's very clever. Okay. That's brilliant. Well, especially with the World Chess Championship going on at the moment. And I should really have got this more quickly. But this is punning on the fact that it is reported as in a homophone. Imagine this was the phrase check. Let me go to another answer where I could write this. Czech, as in from Czechoslovakia. A checkmate would be a friend from Eastern Europe. And if they were reported to you, if you heard that phrase, checkmate, it would sound exactly the same as this phrase, checkmate, which is, of course, the end of a game of chess, the fall of the king. Might have given that a question mark at the end, but that's... So is this erratum, then? Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, that's a lovely clue. Right. Okay. So, if you were a newspaper editor or if you were a typesetter, and you got an article in and you were reading it, and the person who'd written the article had used the word sinner instead of the word sinker, that would be an error in the text, wouldn't it? Or an erratum. It would be an example of an erratum. That's what erratum means. How does it break down in terms of the wordplay? I'm not sure. It is A singer is somebody who snitches, somebody who tells on somebody, or a rat. And then let me think, is So we actually have and in this. Rat, Let's look up erratum. Comes up a lot in cryptic crosswords. This or errata. Very useful sequence of letters. So an error in writing or printing. So we're doing okay now. Let's try 4 down. Post a couple of applications. Post a couple of applications. I don't know what this is, but app, APP, is obviously, in modern parlance, that's become very very accepted, hasn't it, as a short synonym for an app, or a short abbreviation for applications. My dictionary's old. I wonder if it's actually going to be in there. Let's have a look. No, it's just not. I bet it's in a modern dictionary though. An app is not even listed as a noun, is it? Whereas now we'd say, oh, I got an app to do this, and everyone would know what it meant. So I'm wondering if a couple of applications is going to be an app, and then what's it going to be? An 8-letter word for an application. And the whole thing means post. And the answer is post. I want to say appointment or something. But why? Oh, an ointment is an app. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Oh, good grief. Right. That's very, very nice. What a lovely spot by the constructor. Okay, so it is. It's 2 forms of applications which are very different. App, as in something you have on your phone, a phone app, and an application if you got injured, somebody might rub an ointment on you. That's a different sort of application. So we've got app plus ointment to give a post an appointment, as in a job. That's brilliant, actually. Right, let's try. Okay, so this one is it's really well worded, and for seasoned cryptic crossword solvers, this one will be no trouble at all. But if you're new to cryptic crosswords, this might be more trouble. This phrase periodically, sometimes you may say this as regularly, or every now and then, or evenly, or oddly. And what that's referring to is it's saying we need to take the regularly occurring letters from a string. So the string here is new baby. Now if we take the even numbered letters 2, 4 and 6 from that string, you can see spelt out we'd have E, it doesn't let me do highlighting, but we'd have spelt out EBB, ebb. And what is an ebb? If a tide ebbs, what happens to the level of the water? It drops. So the clue, as so often, has absolutely nothing to do with a new baby needing a drink. Constructors will deliberately try and mislead you as much as they can, but remember, they can do that misleading, and that's fine, but they still have to say what they mean. So they can't just be deliberate. They can be obtuse and deliberately obtuse, but they can't be in error. So a drop in of water is an ebbing of the tide. And let's try 10 across. Looking for enlightenment, they quickly run through plot. I was thinking of the word bedimmed, but that's not right. I think this will mean looking for enlightenment. And why do I think that? Well, often another way to attack a cryptic crossword is to say, are there any words in this clue that I know short synonyms for? And the word plot is interesting. If you had a plot of land in your garden, that would often be, where you grew flowers, for example, it would be referred to as a bed, wouldn't it? So I'm wondering, especially this phrase, they quickly run through plot. That suggests that what we need to do is to put the word bed around things that quickly run. Oh, no, I've got it now. Things that run quickly are emus. That sounds so ridiculous, doesn't it? But emus are known to be quick runners. So if I put emus in the middle of bed, I get bemused, and if you're bemused, you are looking for enlightenment. I thought it was going to be something about looking for light, as in literally you're in the dark, but it's slightly more subtle. Now we could go, let's keep going with the first letters. 12 across. I will not run out of highway. I will not run out of highway. That's another very well worded clue. I will not run out. I mean, it feels like it should be an anagram, but I don't see how that can be correct. Interstate is a highway, but that's 10 letters. I will can be abbreviated to I'll, but highway with that start, don't like it. Out of highway. I will not run. Out of highway. I have no idea. That's really clever. That's just all I can say is that's clever. I hope the answer, when I get it, makes me think it is as clever as I currently think it is. Let's try 15 across. Nervous feeling. Butter. I was thinking of butterfingers or something, but I think that's wrong. Butterflies. Yeah, that's going to be right. If you say something, you utter it, don't you? Associated with Burton's debut theatre part. Okay, so this isn't referring to Under Milkwood. To begin at the beginning, it was moonlit and Bible black. Something like that, anyway. The Jolly Roger Sea, where the Arethusa, the Curlew. And the Star of Wales tilt and ride. Anyway, I won't do my Richard Burton impression. He says, having already sort of done it. But I've got totally discombobulated myself. Right, nervous feeling. Let's just put butterflies in and see if we can work out why. It's something like, say is utter. If you utter something, you say it. That's associated with Burton's debut. Well, the debut letter of the word Burton's, it's not referring to Richard Burton. It's saying what is the starting letter of the word Burton, and that's B. Now, how do we get flies then? Theatre. Oh, maybe it's not butterflies then. Theatre part. Burton's debut. That's B. Butter. Oh, I'm actually nervous feeling is butterflies. Why are flies part of a theatre? I mean, it's not this, but imagine that there was a weird meaning of theatre, which was trousers. Flies are part of your trousers. Theatre part. I don't know. It probably is flies, and I just don't know why. There's some rationale I'm not spotting. It's butter something. Butter. What's the part of a theatre? Gods. I've got stools. Circle. Boxes. Butter boxes. No, it's not that. I don't know. That's making me feel very stupid. Let's try 14 across. Priest is missing a beat. Okay. Here, the construction in terms of discerning how the clue works is not too difficult. I'm going to read this clue to you in a different way, with different emphasis and different stress, and you will immediately see how we can read it. Priest is missing a beat. So I didn't read it as priest is missing a beat. But if I read it as priest is missing a, what could that mean cryptically? That means we need a 4-letter word for a priest, and we're going to take the a away because the a is missing. And we're looking for a 3-letter word then, which means beat. Now that's a slightly difficult word, but if you can think of the priest as in, you might have heard of the Dalai Lama, and that's what we need there. We need Lama. We're going to take the a off the end. We get lamb. And lamb, as well as to run away, I think it's a criminal running away from a thing, but it also means to beat or to hit. Let's have a look. And the Book of Lamentations, apparently. Oh, there, lamb to beat, but I think it also means to run off. Yeah, to escape or flee. US slang, apparently. Let's try 14 down. The method underpinning entries in Crossword Championship Spectacle. Oh, that's brilliant. And again, well, not again, but let me just tell you, that's dangerous for me. Because when I see Crossword Championship Spectacle, it fills up, I've got lots of memories of things like that. And my brain wants to think about those in the context of answering this clue. Now, my brain then is almost certainly misleading me. Because it's very unlikely that this clue is really going to be about anything that happens at a crossword championship, because the clues are intended to be solved by anybody, you don't have to have gone to a crossword championship to be able to solve them. So let's have a look. The method is the way, isn't it? So I quite want this to end in away or something like that. Underpinning entries in crosswords. So championship spectacle would be I don't know. I think I've nearly got that, but I can't think of the starting. Let's try this one, which has got an A here. Waterproof. This is instinctive. Spill tea. Waterproof. What's that? A Mac? This could be the name of a tea. There are some very strange names for teas, aren't there? Don't know. Okay, let's go back over. Let's see if we can work our way back down to the southwest. Let's try 6 down. Numbers clocked by my employer. Numbers clocked by my employer. I think this is just times. It's sort of a double definition. So if you were a runner and you did a lot of races, the numbers that you clocked would be your times for all those races, wouldn't they? And the person who employs the constructor of this puzzle is the Times newspaper. That's interesting. Is it the Times or is it Times newspaper? I think it might be the Times. I mean, that's pedantry on my part, but anyway, I'm pretty sure Times is the answer. Let's try 6 across. Part of leg, thigh, or could it be tibia? Somewhat laid back, nurse's start of ice. Yeah, okay, it's tibia. Okay, so it's a bone in your leg. So how do I know the answer's tibia and not thigh? The reason is the wordplay. So, somewhat laid back. I need to think of a 4-letter word that means somewhat. And then I'm going to reverse it. Now, a word for, or a phrase for somewhat would be a bit. So, I've put my a bit backwards. I've laid it back. And that is nursing, as in it's taking care of, it's looking after the start of the word ice, which is I. So that is why I know this is tibia, is because the wordplay tells me it is. Let's try 7 down. A bit miffed, receiving only half as much rice. Okay, well, I mean, I know what this is. I've just got to work. I've almost worked out why, but it's obviously a lot easier to solve this clue with this B and this S. I mean, again, let's use this trick. We know that the definition is almost always going to be at the start or the end of the clue. So look at the word rice here, fitting into this construction. I'm sure most of you have heard of basmati rice. That must be the answer. So why? Now, a bit miffed. Lots of people think that cryptic crosswords are full of anagrams. I don't think we've had an anagram yet in this one, have we? We've had some reversals, we've had some chopping off of letters, we've had double definitions, but we haven't had any anagrams. This is perhaps the first one. A bit miffed. If the letters of a bit are miffed, they're sort of angry, they're cross. So it's an anagram of a bit, and that's receiving only half as much. So if you look at the phrase as much, 6 letters, so you can half it and just take the first A, S and M, A, S, M, that's that A, that S and that M, in an anagram of a bit to give basmati, which is the answer. It's very nice, a bit miffed receiving. I mean, it is really nice, actually. If you read the clue again, a bit miffed receiving only half as much rice, it conjures up an image. So it doesn't read particularly as a crossword clue, and that is the sign of a great constructor. This one, I will not run out of highway. You know, again, it doesn't really read like a crossword clue. It's very hard, especially if, you know, if somebody's very experienced, which I suppose I am, at solving these puzzles, to construct clues that read so naturally. It really is skillful setting this. Append residence, look beneath this. You see, this one reads more like a crossword clue, actually. I mean, that phrase, you can't really imagine seeing it in a novel, can you? Append residence, look beneath this. If you append something to something, you add. add it. Residence. Oh, add residence can be abbreviated to res, I think. Add. Is this some a C? It's addressee. Yeah, that's sort of a semi-and lit, isn't it? In the sense that you need a lot of the wordplay there to make sense of the words of the clue, to read it as a definition. Because I think what we're trying to imagine here in the constructor's mind, imagine you had a letter and you were going to address the letter. Firstly, you'd write the name, the addressee, wouldn't you? And then you'd append beneath the addressee's name the actual address, the residence. So you'd append the residence, the address, just beneath the addressee. And how does the wordplay break down? We've got append. If you append something, you add it. Residence, I think, can be abbreviated as res. Oh, if I could type, it might be. Let's see. Oh, maybe it can't. No, there, residence. And then if you look at something, you see it. So, why do I say it's a semi-and lit? This phrase "and lit" is a difficult one. It's an ampersand sign and then lit. It means "and literally." And the reason we have to do that is imagine most of these clues, in fact, I think all the clues, maybe not all of them, but almost all the clues we've looked at so far, we have been able to cut the clue between the wordplay and the definition, and each could be read separately and in isolation. Now here we cannot do that. I think maybe the cuppa clue was an example of where we couldn't do that as well. And that's because if I do cut it after the word look, then this 9-letter word should be defined by the phrase beneath this. Now addressee does not define the phrase beneath this. We need the context of the append, residence and look, don't we? We need to read the whole clue. And that's why I describe it as a semi-and lit. So it is legitimate to do this. It's just very hard. I mean, the constructor has given themselves a much more difficult task to make and lits and semi-and lits. It's really a difficult thing to achieve. So, oh, this interstate. Oh, intestate. Oh my goodness, that's genius. I even said it. Oh, well, I didn't say intestate, I said interstate, and didn't realise what was going on. That is brilliant. Oh my goodness, right. Okay. Well, that's clue of the week, unless there's anything more brilliant than that which was, I mean, which there won't be. Why do I love this? Well, the definition here is I will not. But that's not in the sense of I won't do this. That's saying I will not. I have not got a will. If somebody dies without a will, they die intestate. Let's look that up just to show you. So somebody who wills not, I will not, doesn't have a will. A person who dies without making a valid will. How does the wordplay work? Well, we take run, which can be abbreviated to R, again from cricket, out of a word for a highway, interstate. Run out of highway. I will not run out of highway. That is absolutely brilliant. Goodness me. Right, 13 down. Child's character, we think, encapsulates untrustworthy. Child's character. A character might be trait. We think encapsulates untrustworthy. I mean, I don't know what this is. I mean, I think this is going to be a name for a child. I mean, I was thinking things like teenager, but I don't think it's that. Oh, butterflies still works. Why is this flies at the end? Associated with Burton's debut theatre part. Maybe there is a part of a theatre called The Flies. I've never heard of it. If there is, let's have a look at whether F can be justified here. Its influence is sweet charity in the setting for Les Miserables. It is going to be that. It's going to be fragrance, or it is fragrance. The setting for Les Miserables is France. It's set in France. So charity, can we think of a word for charity, which we're going to put in the word for the setting for Les Miserables? Well, rag. At university, I remember we had Rag Week. So that must have been something to do with charity. Let's have a look. It's not there. An outburst of organised horseplay. Okay, that is it. An outburst of organised horseplay, usually in defiance of authority, riotous festivity, especially and originally of undergraduates, now in British universities, associated with the raising of money for charity. Good grief. Okay, well, so we put rag in France, and I could see that was going to make the word fragrance. So is that defined by its influence is sweet? Yeah. If, it's something sweet smelling, you describe it as fragrant, wouldn't you? So the trick here is to read the clue correctly, in the sense of the constructor is being deliberately obtuse because they've put the sweet and the charity both in italics, which makes your brain want to read them as sweet charity and not cut the clue after the word sweet. But yeah, that's not what we're going to do. So I'm going to put butterflies in. And I'm not changing it. So I'm going to look up the word flies and just see if it's in the dictionary as part of a theatre. Plural. In plural. Oh, there it is. The large space above the proscenium in a theatre from which the scenes are controlled. I have never heard that before. The flies. So it is part of a theatre. And that is why butterflies is correct. Goodness me. I mean, that's so cool that, I still learn. Every single Times crossword I do, I learn things that I didn't know before. Even after all these years, it might be new words, it might be new meanings of words. It's fantastic. It's such a good hobby. When puzzles are this good, you can understand why so many people get so much pleasure from it. Let's go back to this one then. So what is the name of this tea? Bohea or something is a type of tea. Bohea. I don't know if that has a sort of equally weird ending in its full form. Waterproof. Mac. This is instinctive. Talent or something? Spill. Oh, spill tea could just be, say, anagram tea, so this could end in ETA. Oh goodness, I wonder if that's a possibility then. Is this some sort of waterproof fabric? Gutta percha. That's what they used to make golf balls out of, isn't it? Gutta percha is a thing. Oh, this is instinctive. Your gut reaction to something would be your instinct. Oh, char for tea. Oh, goodness me. This is, again, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. This is instinctive, your gut. A spill is a taper, as in something that you light and you sort of walk round with to provide light. And then char for tea. So let me just look. I mean, I'm definitely not changing that. Let's look up all the elements of this. So gutta percha is, it is there. It's just hyphenated, so it won't show me. A strong waterproof substance like rubber but harder. Not extensible. Obtained chiefly from the latex of Malaysian trees. I think they made golf balls out of it. Oh, they do. There. A solid gutta percha golf ball. Also called a gutty. Yes, I remember that now. So gutta percha. And then spill for taper. Let's look up spill, because that's not normally the meaning we'd think of. Spill, a thin strip of wood or paper for lighting a candle. And then char for tea. A cup of char, I think most people would be familiar with that. So it's another lovely clue. Let's try 19 across. Introduction to Gotterdammerung. That surprises me. Well, okay, what is the... I mean, let's literally take it at its word. What is the introductory letter to the word Gotterdammerung? And it is G, isn't it? How do you write the letter G? How do you spell it? You might say it's just the letter G. That's true, but all letters have a spelling. Like if I look up H, for example, the correct spelling of H is like that, H. The 8th letter of the English alphabet. How do you spell the letter G? Like that. Look how many meanings there are for G. As into, okay, so G up a horse. And this is the meaning I was thinking of, because what was the clue? Something like that surprises me. If you said, gee whiz, you know, everyone would know that you were saying, that surprises me. And there it is, the 7th letter of the alphabet, or the 1st letter of Gotterdammerung. Also, in Scottish or North England dialect, a fit of perversity. Also, to go, suit, or get on well. Really? In US dialect? To go, to suit. That really suits you. That G's you. Tell me, if you're watching this from America, is that really true? G, a radio navigation system in which 3 ground stations do some stuff. That's great. Right, so G is the answer. Let's try 19 down. Being divine. I want this to be goddess, as in a divine being. Cheese is tucked away by girl. Okay, it's not goddess. It's quite useful to have the short synonyms for cheese at your disposal. So let's think of some. Edam, that comes up a lot. Brie comes up a lot. So cheese is tucked away suggests that we're going to put our short synonym for cheese in the middle of this word. So can you think of what the answer might be? What about Gabriel? Not perhaps a goddess, but angelic, an angel. The angel Gabriel is what's being referred to. And we put the cheese, the word brie, in a word for a girl, gal, G-A-L. Comes up quite a lot. I'll just show you. I mean, presumably it's fairly well known that gal and girl are synonymous, but let's just look. Dialect. For a dialectic word, I didn't realise it was particularly... Also a unit of acceleration. 1 centimetre per second per second. So that's going to be right. Is this robot? No, rebus probably. Cryptic pictures on public transport. Yeah. So cryptic pictures is a rebus. On, if something is on something, if you saw re on a memo, it would be followed by the subject of the memo, wouldn't it? So re on public transport, bus. Let's look up rebus. An enigmatical representation of a word or name by pictures. So that is fairly well known in puzzle circles. Let's go back to that one then. What's this? Trench. This was the child's character. We think encapsulates untrustworthy. If someone is untrustworthy, they are weaselly, sly. Child. Oh, this again, this is the sort of thing that annoys me. It's me annoying me because I should just be able to, I should be able to come up with the four things that fit this pattern immediately in my brain, and then just cycle through them until I know which one it is. I can't think of any word that fits here. It's so annoying. Right, 23 down. Ridicule the people here about money. Ridicule. I don't know what this is yet, but I can think of a short synonym for the people here. The people here would be us. that would literally be the people here. And that's turned about. So that makes me think this might begin with a reversal of the word us. And then we need a 3-letter word for money. Money is difficult because there are so many short synonyms for either currencies like yen or slang terms for money like tin. So ridicule. If you ridicule, I don't know. I'm not sure actually. Okay, so we're getting a bit stuck down there. Should we try? Let's try 18 down. One pushing athlete, European, right to the very south of ground. I think this. Okay, I can do this one. Yeah. It's a very it's a really nicely worded clue again, and it conjures a good image as well in your head when you read the clue. And the way to get this one is to think of a word for ground beginning with T, and if you get that, you'll probably get the answer. So 7-letter word for ground beginning with T. Well, what about the word terrain? Now, terrain isn't the answer, but it's the sort of fundamental part of the answer, because European can be abbreviated to E, that's that E. Right can be abbreviated to R, that's that R. So if E and R are pushed or are sent to the very south of the word terrain, we'd move the E and R down, wouldn't we? And the word would become trainer. And a trainer is somebody who might push an athlete. So that will be right. Let's try 20 across. Unsteadily take aim at Balmoral boiler. Unsteadily. Now this will be an anagram. Unsteadily. If letters are unsteady, they're going to shift around, aren't they? Take aim at is 9 letters. So and a Balmoral boiler. It's going to be some sort of teapot. T something. Let's put T in. What letters have we got left? K. We've got K-A-I. M. Is that really what we've got left? That's a very, very strange collection of letters. I don't know. I might have extracted the wrong anagram fodder then. Let's see if we can justify T. Obviously that's going to make this word light. Light. Oh, hang on. The method underpinning entries in a crossword. Well, entries in a crossword are sometimes referred to as lights, believe it or not. So literally, the white cells that you fill, these are all lights. I suppose that's because crosswords have evolved from sort of black and white grids. And light and dark squares. So championship spectacle then is going to be light something. The method. Oh, light show. How, isn't it? I kept on being obsessed with way in my mind, but how is the method. The how. How can certainly be a noun to be the how we did it. Show me how. Light show. Championship spectacle. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, championship spectacle. I mean, you might get a light show at a championship spectacle. I think I'm missing why this doesn't have a question mark, I think. Light show. Let's actually look up light show in the dictionary and see. I'm not changing light show. It's definitely right. It's just a colourful spectacle of lights that accompanies rock and pop bands is how the dictionary thinks of it. Why is that a championship spectacle? I'm not sure, but I mean, it's definitely the right answer. 24 across. Chinese agent engaged in Washington diversion. Oh, goodness. Chinese, a member of the Chinese people, I think the Han are a Chinese dynasty, so that might be something to do with it. Agent engaged in Washington diversion. I'm not sure. Let's try 27 across, he says, moving swiftly on. Counterintuitively, best fare from Bavaria, zilch for you in the end. Oh, that conjures up memories for me, so I must try and avoid those. I used to have to go, in a former life, I would quite often have to go to Munich on work trips. And I experienced a whole range of Bavarian delicacies over the years. I never experienced the pint of pig fat that one of my friends claimed that they were served at quite a a famous Munich restaurant. A pint of pig fat. No, I wouldn't have liked that. But what I did like was this thing that was like pancakes with apple. Now, what was it called? Oh, I can't remember, but occasionally when I was on a very fortunate work trip, I would do cycling in the Bavarian Alps, and I used to absolutely love that, and I would reward myself at the end with this pancake dish at the sort of mountain restaurant that we got to at the end. That was great. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Counterintuitively, best fare from Bavaria. Oh, Wurst, as in, oh, hang on, but how do you spell that? Zilch for you in the end. Ah, that's a really clever clue. You can make a mistake on this clue. Right. I've got to be very precise about where we cut this clue. I'm going to cut it after the word best. So counterintuitively, best. And that is because the word worst has sort of two meanings. It can mean you're the worst at something, you are literally bad at it. But if you worst somebody, you beat them. So you are the best. So it does have this sort of strange double meaning. Now, fare from Bavaria is Wurst, as in bratwurst or something like that. And that has zilch. We've already seen that O can indicate nothing. So this U is replaced by an O because zilch, for you in the end, the final letter of the word U is U. It's that U. It's difficult to explain this because U and obviously the letter U and the word U have the same sound. But you can see the end letter of the word U, where the cursor is there, is a U. So this U comes out, is replaced by 0 for zilch to give worst, which means counterintuitively best. And that's one of the most complicated explanations ever in a clue, but that is going to be correct. 21 down. Eve and Adam, odd wording. Why is it not Adam and Eve, which would be far more usual? Eve and Adam finally ran into someone doing the Eden Project. I have been to the Eden Project. Eve and Adam finally. See, Eve and Adam finally makes me think it's the final letters of Eve and Adam, but in that order, because otherwise you'd have written Adam and Eve finally. And so EM ran into someone. Oh, it's Emmet. It's the Cornish visitor. Oh, well, as somebody who is a Cornish visitor, but I have been a Cornish visitor throughout my entire life, at least once or twice a year. So I'm I do have an affinity with Cornwall, especially North Cornwall. So how does it work? So E and M, Eve and Adam finally. If you run into somebody, you meet them, in the past tense, met. Emmet is what Cornish people call visitors to the county. It means an aunt or something. Yeah, there we go. A tourist. Emmet. Someone doing the Eden Project with somebody visiting. The Eden Project is obviously in Cornwall. So I did extract the anagram incorrectly. There's only one E in take aim at. It's a tea kettle or something. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Unsteadily. I wonder. I don't know about this, but I'm. Here is a thought. Unsteadily take might be saying anagram of the word take. That would give us teak. TK. Now, is a Scottish word for to aim the word ettle? I don't know, but it's ringing a vague bell with me. And that might be what Balmoral is doing in the clue. And a tea kettle is just a generic word then for a boiler, something that boils water. I quite like that. I'm not going to look that up though yet, because I'm prepared to believe it's wrong. So let's go back there. Hangman, Chinese agent, engaged in Washington diversion. What is that getting at? Chinese. Don't know. Let's try 25 down. Pain riding horse. Jip. I think that's a word for pain. I don't think a jip is a riding horse, so let's get rid of that. If you're riding on a horse, you are up. So if UPH could be a word, no, that's nonsense. Riding. If you're riding, you're on something. Horse can be abbreviated to H. I think that's from heroin. So, but horse also can be lots of short synonyms. Nag, GG. Golly, I need to get one of these across answers, don't I? Why writer stops working? Good, you hear. This about pen. What? Why writer stops working? The ink runs out. No ink or something. Good, you hear. This. Good, you hear. This about pen. What is that? What on earth? I mean, what's the definition there? Why writer stops working? That makes me think about writer's block. Good, you hear. Good, you hear this about pen. Oh, I don't know. Let's just keep going because I haven't looked at this clue yet. Church reader, fast one, keeps time. Church reader. Fast one. Keeps time. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is why this puzzle is hard, because actually, although there's been a lot of brilliancies in the clues, nothing at the top of the clues been particularly difficult. But now this bottom area is very abstract. Let's try this one. 13 across again. Treacle tart. Child's, it's not treacle tart. Child's character. Treacliness. Child's character, we think, encapsulates untrustworthy. Character, we think. Child's character. Teen. I don't have a clue. Encapsulates. Untrustworthy, not untrustworthy. It's untrustworthy. No, got nothing. So, oh dear. So I've got stymied by a lot in the bottom area. Going to have to come back to this one. Chinese agent engaged in Washington diversion. An agent is a man. Your man in Havana or something. Engaged in Washington. Oh, an agent engaged in Washington. Oh, it is hangman. I even said it's hangman. I didn't say it was hangman, but I thought of the word hangman. It's hangman. Oh, goodness me. It's clever again. It's my fault. Right. Chinese. Basically, this is so annoying. I explained everything about this clue and said the answer and still didn't appreciate it was correct. I am so dense sometimes. Right. Chinese. A member of the Chinese people, Han, there we go, a native Chinese people. So that's Han at the start of this. A G-man is an agent engaged in Washington, as in a Fed. I think a G-man is like a federal agent or something. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, I can't type, so that might be why. G-man, an agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And then hangman is a diversion, as in a sort of, something you do to waste time. I just didn't think of hangman and diversion as synonymous until I understood G-man. But okay, let's go back to this. Pain riding horse. Wow. Is it nag? If you nag at somebody, if something nags at you, it is a pain, I suppose. I'm not totally convinced by that. But if it was nag, what would this be then? Church reader, fast one. Keeps time. But the G could be wrong. Goodness, I don't know. That's tricky, isn't it? Oh, how does the wordplay work here? Fast. A fast Lent is a fast? Or it could be somebody who is fast, like an emu again. It won't be emu again. Fast one. Keeps time. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so although we've got hangman, it hasn't actually. I think we might. Oh, let's try that one. Ridicule. Spurn. The people here about money. I've got this one. Right, okay. So what we need here, I was thinking I needed a 3-letter word for money that I was going to put at the end of a reversal of the word us. But how about, what if it was a 5-letter word for money? And then I need a 3-letter word for ridicule, followed by us, and I'm going to reverse that whole thing. Now, 3-letter words for ridicule, my first thought was rib. But then if it was rib, is this a word? No, is the answer. But how about rag? To rag is to tease or ridicule, and sugar is a word for money. So it's not given us any brilliant checking letters, but that is at least another answer in. So let's go back here. Why writer stops working? Pen. Oh no, pen is in the clue as well. It won't be pen. Good. Good. You hear this about pen. It's not going to be the noise a swan makes or some honking. Honking? I'm wondering if a swan... Is it a swan? Oh, it could be... Could it be... Oink? Oh, it's oinking. Oh my goodness, that's vicious. That is absolutely vicious. But it's right. I can explain it. So, I think this is... I thought it was going to be the name... A swan, a female swan is a pen. Male swan is a cob. Small swan is signet. These are all words that you might need someday. But this isn't referring to a swan. It's referring, I think, to a pig pen, which is somewhere you might hear oinking. How does the clue work? Well, why writer stops working, ? A writer might stop working, a pen might stop working if it had 0 ink in it. 0 ink in. And then G is a valid pseudonym for good, or a valid abbreviation. Pseudonym, what am I talking about? Let's go to G and see if we can find good. It is there, I've seen it before. There. So that is how oinking can be extracted from this nonsense. Now, is this propeller? No. Oh dear. Church reader. Oh. Fast one. Keeps time. Gospeler. Spell is a time. Goer. It is gospeler. Oh, I think subconsciously I was thinking of my G from nag there. Okay, so how does it work? A fast one is a goer. That car's a real goer. It's a fast one. And then a period of time is a spell of time, and a gospeler would certainly be somebody you find in church reading. So, treacherous, untrustworthy. Okay, so let's put that in. And let's try and understand why. Child's character, we think. What? Child's character, we think, encapsulates untrustworthy. We think could be maybe. Child's character. We think I'm so sorry. Child's character we think encapsulates. Okay. I still haven't quite got it, but I've got some of it. If we think something, then to us, it is, if we think that car is black, to us, that car is black. So we think is to us, and that is encapsulating somehow. I haven't worked this bit out yet. Reacher for a child's character. I've heard of Jack Reacher. Oh, that is it. It's Lee Child. That's brilliant. I feel so stupid again. Oh no. I mean, to be fair to me, I haven't read any of those books. I've just seen the thing on Amazon Prime. And I know of the people were very cross when Tom Cruise was cast as Jack Reacher. Oh goodness, that's so comedy. So it's not referring to the character of a child, which is how I've been thinking about the clue entirely. It's referring to a character in the books of Lee Child, which is Jack Reacher. Oh, I have to take my hat off this constructor. That is an incredibly good crossword. Interstate and treacherous are wonderful. Oh, I must look up ettle now. I'm not going to change it. See, oh, ettle, there is Scottish word for to aim. Good grief. So that's going to be correct. I might have made a typo, but I think I've explained everything. Yeah, there we go. What a puzzle, eh? What a puzzle. Long video. Oh, but you've got to give me time to do the quick cryptic. I do enjoy trying to redeem myself after all my stupidities. Why is that on the screen? Times quick cryptic number 2852. Times quick cryptic number 2852. It's there twice. That's truly strange. I don't understand. Oh well. Okay, let's have a go anyway. New look Squadamere Pretense. Masquerade is an anagram, isn't it? Right, I'm going to try... I wanted to try and use the downs. Amateur, surely. I'll rely on that being right. Seafood, no starter. Quid. Christmas drink, eggnog. Probably. That's a bit of a risk. Airman to upset cartoonist is an animator. Kick out some of the evict. It's a hidden. Not too heavy without first large decoration. Don't know. One with informal business. That's IBIZ A. Not getting a good checking letter. Lack of stuff. No matter. Not too heavy without first large decorate. Don't know what that is. Carry around air conditioning. That's refreshing. Bracing is the answer. Top of bookshelf. Space. Broomstick. Quidditch gear. Over. Swamp light. Extremely heavy. Oh, swamp like planet. Oh, marshy then. Simon. Read. You have to be able to read to do the clues. Morsel. After popular pet returns, I go quiet. I don't know. Reverse middle part of kiss. Tune. Oh, Simon. Sorry. Show up uninvited to stock market event. Crash. Bear and cat dancing for show is cabaret. Ensnare owl flitting round New Orleans. Okay, so now we've just got to work something light. Not too heavy without first large decoration. Fairy light, maybe. TV programs. Chat show. Probably is chat show. I haven't quite understood it. Chow, I think. Own hats, yeah. Sporran. Shopkeeper. Grocer. That's a homophone. Series featuring murderer outside a hotel is a chain with cane. Leader oboe. So we've just got two more. Taciturn will do from the checking letters. Song will do from reverse middle part of kiss. Snog. That's clever. Okay, I shouldn't have bothered trying to pass song. I should have just written it in. Terrible. 3 minutes. 11th out of 90. Let's have a quick look. Cool. John McCabe under 2 minutes. Chloe Hutton under 2 minutes. Andrew Fisher, 2 minutes. Oh, goodness. Okay, but I could have gone slightly quicker if I'd literally committed myself to not doing word plays at all. But I couldn't have gone that much quicker. I suppose if I was a better typist, I might have been able to. Is that a pangram? Q, Z, is there a J in there? No, I'm not sure, not seeing it anyway. But that's a lovely puzzle as well from Trelawney. Yeah, I don't know if I did redeem myself. Long video today. These videos get longer and longer, but I do enjoy making them. If you do enjoy them, please think about subscribing to the channel. It's obviously free to subscribe to YouTube channels. You just click subscribe, and it helps teach the algorithm, such as it is, that these wonderful puzzles deserve more attention. And let me know how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.